Okay, now we're back indoors now, and we've been doing a bit of finishing, finished paint work with the rust and some salt streaking, and I'll just show you up close what it's done. A bit of the light, you can see that or not. I'll bring the light around and you can see what we've kind of achieved. I think it's looking pretty good now, and it's sort of accumulated in a lot of the fittings, and we've done a bit of touch up with the little bit of rust here and there. Obviously not too much. As you can see, it's given a pretty good effect, and you've got the black line there now along the tank, which kind of indicates where the slot would be. We've done a little bit of weathering on there just to make it look as if there is actually a slot there. But yeah, I'm reasonably pleased with it. It's come out pretty well, and it will further weather once it gets in the water. So there we go. Hope you like that. Right, well, good morning. We're actually doing a bit of testing, or we have done. I have to confess, I've actually had it in the test tank this morning, and wasn't too good this morning. In fact, putting it into the test tank, there wasn't enough buoyancy within the WTC this morning, and well, not enough foam in there, and as such the whole sub did sink, which is not good. So the problem with that is, you say, oh, okay, take a bit of weight out, but we have taken a few 100 grams of some of the shot out of there, but we need a lot of shot in there to keep the boat upright. If we take all the weight out, then the boat will just, it'll just fall over, and that's no good at all. So what we've done was we've had to add some more foam. Now the problem, or the reason why I didn't put foam in it so much in the first, because there's not a lot of room in here to put any foam in. It's absolutely very tight, but we've added some more foam here, and I think I've pretty much got it right. So we'll just show you what we've done. All right, okay then. So you can see the extra foam in the bow there we put in, and obviously the strips along each side of the tanks, and I've had to cut those to enable me to get the tank in. That's how tight it is. But we've got enough strips in there, so that's pretty even all the way along there, and a little bit extra cut away here, the stern, which has been enough, and as you can see inside there. Now the other thing is that I didn't show you is the way this tank actually stays in is the fact that there's no cradle underneath of it. It's just sitting straight onto the base of the hull, and I've got a couple of O-rings here which actually allow it to sit in there so it doesn't scratch the bottom of the hull, because it just sits in there nicely. And then I've got this little simple catch here, which actually is just it's just a piece of rod with a bit of tube on the end of it, and that just hooks underneath part of bracket on there, and then just slots over the earth one there. Right, so now we've done that, I'm gonna put it all back together again now, and we're going to show you it in the water next, in the tank. It's a little bit cold today, so I'll get a chance to get it in this afternoon, but we'll show you what it is, and hopefully it'll only need a couple of grams of weight on it, and it's that tight sometimes to, you need to just put a few grams here and there and get the majority of the work done with the foam. But the other problem with this is it's got quite a high freeboard, so a lot of it has to stick out of the water. But hopefully we only need a few grams to get it to settle correctly, and that's I'll show you when we get into the tank. Right, let's just get her in and see what happens. As you can see, she's filling up the water, and we want her to be somewhere around this split mark here. good. And I've taken a little bit more weight out of it and put a bit more foam here and there, as I said, but she seems to be sitting fairly well. Let's go and get the controller, turn her on and see where she goes. Okay, got the controller, turn her on. There she comes, and you can see the lights are already on, the nav lights are already on, and just give her a little clip. Far there, but there we go. We have that. Should be down. Okay, the rudders are working. Okay, let's give her a bit of dive and see what happens. This particular one has a speed controller on it, so you don't want to be too heavy on the controls. Fairly even at the moment. Now what we want it is to be bow heavy, and the reason for that is because the tank is at the front end, and that's where all the water is going to accumulate, and that will keep the pump full of water. It's stern heavy, and it goes down stern, all the water will rush to the other end of the tank, and it may not come up again until it reaches the bottom and levels out. So we want it to be slightly bow heavy. That means it'll come up a bit stern first, but better that than not coming up at all. A little bit more water, it seems to be going down reasonably evenly. Decks what we want to try and do is get it down to around about level with the cockpit, the conning tower, so that might be slightly more difficult. Looks like the stern's fill in first, which is unfortunate. So yep, as you can see, it's gone down the stern first. Which is no good. So what we want is a little bit more foam in the stern. As you can see, that's the reason why I said to you that all the water's rushed to the rear end of the ballast tank, and she's come up. Good sometimes to take it down and back up again. Sometimes that'll I'll sometimes get rid of some of that. Yeah. See whether it's fairly even. It's a little bit cocked to port there, I think. You're going to have to put some more, take a little bit of foam out of the starboard side by the looks of it. As you see, it's come up big cock handed and the other. There we go. Which is not good. The lights have come on to it. No. It's kind of telling you that that's not much good. So, what I've got to do is go away, take a little bit of foam out of the starboard side, and the side, and add a little bit more to the stern. Okay, here we are back again on this beautiful sunny morning, and we've done a bit of work on it, and I've done some little bit of adding and taking away of the foam. I think I've just about got it right now, so we'll turn the camera around. She's on the test tank, and we'll show you where it should be when we take it down to around about the depth of the conning tower, whereas that's where you want it to be when you're actually on the pond, and then you can take take it down deeper using the front dive planes. But we'll turn it around and we'll show you exactly what it looks like when she's statically diving. Okay, here we go. She's ready to go. We'll just give her a bit of water. This has got a speed controller for the tank, so she sees she's diving down nicely now. Periscope is just beginning to come up. Just beginning to get where the decks are awash, nice and even. She's just beginning to go. So there you have it. Just about nicely settled. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. That's probably the best I can get it in the tank. And what we need to do now is get it in the lake, but I mean that's not too bad. She's on a bit of a knife edge, so we don't know exactly how it's going to run, but you really want it to be slightly bow heavy. But I mean that's not bad. Pretty much either way. And the proof of the pudding now will be what it will be like in the lake. Okay, well that kind of concludes this build of this OTW Type 2 submarine. All we need to do now is get it in the pond now and take it for its first run. Now that might mean to say that we've got to do a little bit of adjustment on the ballasting, you know, a little bit of extra few grams here and there or something like that, but well, that I can't see that being a problem. And what we'll do is if you watch out for the next kind of stage, or the next video, the next little video will be of me just running it in the pond. So keep your eye open for that. But I think you'll agree this is it's a nice boat. If you don't like the size of the Type 7, you can't fit it in your car. This one is, you know, more or less the same sort of hull shape, you know, same scale, but just obviously a little bit shorter. And it's I think a really nice submarine. It looks really great, especially when it's weathered, and I think it'll go really well in a pond. And it'll, as I say, if you want it to fit on the back seat of your car, this is the submarine to go for. And I think it looks absolutely superb. So and not too much effort in building it. A little bit tight here on the dive tube, but that's the nature of this type of submarine with the shape of the hull and everything else. But at the end of the day, when you finish it, what a fantastic looking boat you get out of it. And as I say, I'm really looking forward to getting it in the lake. So keep your eye open for a video in the next few months when the weather maybe improves. I can get down there, and I'll show you what it looks like on the pond. So maybe see you in the next build. Cheers, thanks very much for watching.